Apparently, Zion Williamson's baby mother, she attacked a woman that was in Zion's house. There are articles calling her a stalker.
A scathing love triangle that sources say involves Pelican star Zion Williamson as a woman accused of stalking and beating another woman linked to him romantically.
At a certain point, I have to admit, this becomes almost comical. I really don't like to get into the personal lives of NBA stars, but in Zion Williamson's case, it's a completely different story. I mean, some of the stuff that comes out in regards to Zion Williamson's off-the-court interests is just something that should be written into a TV show. Because now there's an accused stalker that pulled up to Zion Williamson's house and then allegedly began assaulting another one of Zion Williamson's lovers. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to get the latest NBA news to your device. Now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I know some of you guys don't like whenever we jump into stories like this. This is more like bonus content on the channel because we've been covering all of our bases. We've been uploading almost daily ever since good NBA news has come out, but I felt like this would be way too funny not to cover. 2 years ago, Zion Williamson had a very troubling offseason. I mean, on one hand, he was in trade rumors as the New Orleans Pelicans were potentially interested in trading him in return for the number 2 overall pick or the number 3 overall pick so they could select Scoot Henderson.
Pelicans are expected to aggressively pursue a top pick, potentially 2 or 3 in this upcoming NBA draft with their eyes set on Scoot Henderson. Henderson and Alabama's Brandon Miller are vying to potentially go number 2 to the Charlotte Hornets in the draft. Henderson worked out on Sunday in Charlotte and Miller goes on Tuesday. Expect the Hornets to further solidify their draft board as this week closes, but the Pelicans are among teams seriously pursuing that number 2 overall pick.
But at the same time this was happening, Zion Williamson was undergoing tremendous changes in his personal life. He posted this video of a gender reveal with his baby mama, and this caused an adult star to get really upset at him. The woman would then post receipts of her conversation with Zion Williamson, and Zion Williamson clearly wasn't equipped to deal with a woman like this, asking her point blank, why are you posting all of this stuff on social media? Delete everything and we'll talk. Why are you doing this? And the woman pretty much accusing Zion Williamson of ruining her life because Zion had a child with a different woman, which meant that this adult star lost out on a huge bag. And it would get crazy. I mean, allegedly Zion Williamson would pay this woman $107,000 a month. Allegedly, he would send wire transfers with his name attached, which is not only a stupid thing to do, but just a really poor way to invest your money. People didn't really give this woman that much credit. She would go on to tweet about Zion over 200 plus times and try to leverage this attention that she was receiving into funneling it into her website. She'd eventually get banned off of X, and that would be the last we'd hear about her. But prior to that, some of her tweets were insane. I warned you about trapping type hoes at Zion Williamson and you didn't listen to me. I know the game. F you and congrats again. The bill was too high, so you had to scrap for crumbs when you couldn't see me or I was busy. You're putting my life in danger by having unprotected relations with these fine women. I let you make love to me so many times without protection, and this is what you do to me, a hood rat that does CPN. I was with you last week in New Orleans, and you couldn't tell me that you impregnated a fine young lady after all I've done for you. And you better pray I'm not pregnant too, because I'm definitely late. Clearly, this woman was frustrated about the fact that she lost on her bag, and Zion Williamson's baby mama, Concrete Rose, said, happy hoes ain't hating, and hating hoes ain't happy. This is one of the most elegant Twitter exchanges I think I've ever read. And for the most part, we wouldn't really hear about Zion Williamson's off-the-court escapades. It was more about regular Zion Williamson stuff, such as the fact that he hasn't necessarily always been available to play games for the New Orleans Pelicans. We talk about his weight fluctuations, you know, typical Zion Williamson news, and of course, more recently, discussing whether or not the Pelicans would trade him. But now Zion Williamson is in the headlines once again, and to be fair, I don't really think this is 100% his fault. Rather, I think it's just bizarre that he consistently finds himself in these types of situations. So according to WDSU, an accused stalker romantically linked to New Orleans Pelicans Zion Williamson allegedly assaulted a love rival and egged the NBA star's house, according to a report. But here's the crazy part. The woman who is accused of assaulting Zion Williamson's love rival is actually the mother of his child, the woman that Zion Williamson posted a video of on X 2 years ago that featured their gender reveal. So check this out. Akima Love is also accused of threatening the unidentified love rival on social media before the alleged assault at Williamson's home in a gated community in Kenner, Louisiana. Love fled but was later arrested and appeared in court Tuesday. And I think the funniest part about all of this is after she left, she decided to egg Zion Williamson's property, which is bizarre because this is something I'd hear of people doing in high school. And right when you don't think it could get any crazier, she then contacted the victim directly via Instagram and threatened the authorities. Don't worry, it's going to be your head next when I drop this baby. Count your days. She ended the message with a smiley faced emoji. Love is accused of returning to the home, for which she had a key to but did not have permission to enter. Once inside, Love allegedly grabbed the victim's hair and hit her with a set of keys clenched in her fist. So pretty much Zion's baby mama pulled up to his home with keys in her fist, saw him with another woman, and started attacking her. The victim was left with cuts to her eyes, a lump on the side of her head, and had 4 of her fingernails torn off. She faces 3 counts of home invasion, aggravated burglary, and stalking, and her bond was set at $50,000. She was also ordered to stay away from the victim and give up a pistol she owned. Now, Love had no prior record of violence, her attorney, Brian Capitelli, said during the hearing on Tuesday. And he asked for a low bond amount, arguing that Love is a stay-at-home mom with young children. It's just crazy because Zion and Love revealed in June of 2023 that they're going to be having a baby girl. Zion Williamson might be one of the most gluttonous NBA stars we've ever seen in NBA history. Guy has the potential to be a top 5 talent, and he probably would be a top 5 talent if he wasn't so obsessed with food and didn't have a crippling porn addiction. I know this sounds overly judgmental, but Zion really is hitting everything except the court, and he consistently is in the news for the wrong reasons. There's no question about it that Zion has the worst women of all time and probably the worst female roster in NBA history. And a while ago, we made a short on Microphone, and actually we posted this on TheFlightMike about Jaden Daniels and his mom. So for those of you guys that don't know, Jaden Daniels' mother went viral for the fact that she doesn't want Jaden Daniels to date anybody and just focus on his grind.
What concerns you the most?
Girls.
So far, whatever she's doing is working because in Jaden Daniels' rookie season with the Washington Commanders, this man was able to take one of the worst NFL franchises to date to the NFC Championship. To give you an idea of how significant it is, it's kind of like imagine if LaMelo Ball got drafted to the Charlotte Hornets and was able to take the Charlotte Hornets to the Eastern Conference Finals in his first season with the team. And Jaden Daniels' mother doesn't care about the quality of women that Jaden is potentially attracting. I mean, the woman went viral for sitting in between her son and Juju Watkins during the NCAA tournament. And this was the subject of a lot of criticism. And although I don't necessarily agree with that, and yeah, I do think that might be some indication of helicopter parenting, it's working so far. Jaden Daniels seems to have one of the brightest futures in the NFL. And if this is a part of it and it's working, then hey, I'm not a parent. I can't really comment on that. I honestly think this extreme is way better than just letting Zion Williamson run around and mess around with women that are consistently embarrassing him. In the very beginning, Akima was just celebrating the fact that she was the mother to Zion's child. But now it all comes full circle because Zion moved on to someone else, and it seems like the cycle is continuing. If you want more information on what happened with the adult star and Zion Williamson 2 years ago, we have videos on it years ago that are very long, diving into all the details, and I'll leave it in the end screen and I'll meet you guys over there. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.